Archangel Michael says, Jesus has decided to finish this person in your family, and it will happen tomorrow because. Yet what your heart feels and what your soul trembles at are not the true meanings wrapped inside those words. For this is not a message of fear, nor is it a declaration of punishment, but rather, it is a cry from heaven that something must come to an end, and that something, beloved child, is not a person, but a pain, a burden, a chain that has held your family hostage for far too long. Type 666 if you trust Jesus. There are seasons in life when we carry the weight of generational sorrow, quiet suffering that passes from one soul to the next like a shadow no one speaks of, but everyone feels. It could be anger buried so deep that it hardens the heart. It could be sickness that knocks again and again. It could be distance between loved ones that feels too wide to cross. But the Lord, in His infinite mercy, has looked upon your house, and He has decided it is time for that suffering to end, not in silence, not with grief, but with healing so complete, it will feel like resurrection. The kind of finishing Jesus brings is never destruction, it is restoration. He does not come to tear down hearts, He comes to rebuild what has been broken by this world. And so, if you feel fear upon hearing those words, know this: fear is not from God. Peace is. Love is. Mercy is. And that is what He is sending into your family now, as sure as the sun will rise in the morning. A finish is coming, yes, but it is the finish of all that kept your family bound in chains of pain, and Jesus, the Lamb who was slain, is not coming with a sword of wrath, but with a river of grace that will wash away what no human could ever cleanse. Like this video and subscribe to this channel if you believe God's plan is perfect. You may have watched someone in your family struggle silently for years. You may have seen them sink beneath the weight of addiction, or anger, or shame. You may have prayed in secret, through tears that soaked your pillow, that God would step in and do something, anything, to help them, to rescue them, to free them from what they cannot escape alone. And now, beloved, the answer has come. Jesus is stepping in, not tomorrow, but already now, because when God moves, He does not wait for the sun to rise, He begins in the stillness of night, in the places no one sees, and brings about miracles that no one expects. What if you could unlock a secret brain wave that top scientists discovered inside the hippocampus, the very switch that signals wealth and abundance? Hidden from the public for decades, this breakthrough can rewire your mind to attract prosperity faster than you imagined. Picture the stress of bills replaced with financial freedom and new opportunities. Every delay is a missed blessing, and those who act now are already walking into the wealth you deserve. Step forward before the door closes. Click the link in the video description and comments below to activate this ancient money wave and step into abundance today. The finish that is coming is holy. It is a sacred breaking of every spiritual chain, every lie whispered by the enemy, every wound that has never fully healed. The Lord has looked upon the one in your family who carries the heaviest burden, and in His compassion, He has said, "It is enough." No longer will this soul walk alone through the fire. No longer will they suffer in silence. He will not let them fall apart. He will gather their broken pieces and make them whole in a way that no human hand or worldly help ever could. Type 1818 to claim miracles. Do not fear what tomorrow holds, for Jesus is already in tomorrow, preparing a table of peace and joy in the presence of what once caused so much sorrow. You may not see the full picture yet, and that is okay. You are not meant to see the end before it comes. You are only asked to trust. Trust that the one who stilled the storm with a whisper is now whispering peace into the soul of the one you love. Trust that his mercy runs deeper than any pain, and his light is brighter than any darkness. Trust that he will never bring you to an end, but always to a beginning, even when it comes through what feels like loss. And so tonight, as you sit with this message in your heart, do not tremble. Breathe. Close your eyes. Imagine the Lord standing in your home, His presence soft and radiant, His hand stretched out over your family. In that vision, there is no anger. There is no punishment. There is only light, pure, healing light, pushing back every shadow, touching every heart, and speaking the word that has been waiting to be heard: enough. Let the tears fall if they must. Let the memories rise if they will. Let every corner of your soul feel the comfort of knowing that Jesus, the Good Shepherd, has not forgotten your home. He has not overlooked your family. He has seen every fight, every night of crying out, every silent prayer. And now, His love is moving. Now, He is doing a new thing. Not with thunder, not with fear, but with a grace so gentle it will feel like a deep, warm breath filling your lungs after years of barely breathing. This is not the end of someone you love. It is the end of what has hurt them. It is the end of torment. The end of confusion. The end of the weight that has crushed them from within. And in its place, the love of Jesus will bloom like wildflowers after a storm, fierce in color, fearless in growth, unafraid to be seen. There is a silence that settles over a family when pain becomes normal. It is the kind of silence that grows louder with time, echoing in words left unsaid and in smiles that never quite reach the eyes. This silence is not peace, it is the pause between wounds, the quiet between storms, and it becomes easy to believe that nothing will ever change. But Jesus sees the silence, and He does not leave it untouched. He walks into that silence like the soft wind before the rain, and He begins to speak life where there has only been surviving. He knows the one in your family who has cried behind closed doors, who has smiled through suffering, who has felt forgotten by both people and prayer. Jesus has not forgotten them. He has watched every moment. He has stood beside them in every breakdown, every night of not knowing how to go on, every time they almost gave up. And now, with tenderness deeper than words, He is lifting them up from the ground, from the pit, from the prison their soul has been trapped in. The finishing is not of their life, it is the finishing of the suffering that almost stole it. There are battles the world cannot see. There are fights inside the soul that leave no bruises, but still bleed. The enemy of peace has tried to keep this person bound in lies, that they are unworthy, that they are beyond help, that nothing will ever change. But the enemy's words fall silent in the presence of Jesus, for where He stands, truth sings louder. And the truth is this: no one is too far gone, no wound too deep, no past too broken for the hands of Christ to restore. Type 999 if you trust God. When Jesus moves to finish something, it is not with violence, it is with power wrapped in gentleness. His touch does not crush. It heals. He is not coming to end a life. He is coming to raise a soul. The finish he brings is like the final note in a painful song, the last page of a story filled with sorrow, the closing of a chapter that has held too many tears. And right after that finish, something new will begin, something pure, something beautiful, something your heart has longed to see. Do not let fear speak louder than faith in this moment. Do not let darkness convince you that this message is about losing someone. This is about winning them back. This is about Jesus claiming what has always been his, wrapping them in grace, and breaking the power of whatever has tried to keep them distant from joy. The tomorrow you fear is actually the day of their release. It is the morning of mercy, the hour of breakthrough, the moment when chains fall and the soul is set free. You may feel helpless. You may not know what to say, what to do, or how to help the one you love. But you are not alone in that ache. The Lord is already where you cannot go. He is inside the thoughts they don't speak. He is holding their heart in ways your hands never could. And even if they don't see it yet, they are being carried. They are being covered. They are being called back to life. Breathe deeply and hold hope like a flame that cannot be blown out. Pray, not in desperation, but in trust. Even when you see no signs, believe that God's hands are never idle. Even when they still seem lost, believe that Jesus never loses who he loves. The moment may not be loud, but it will be holy. The change may not come in a flash, but it will be real. Healing is not always thunder, it is often a soft, steady rain that falls until the soil is ready to bloom. Let your heart begin to let go of what you thought the message meant. Begin to see what God is really doing. He is not ending a life. He is ending the torment. He is ending the hopelessness. He is ending the night. And just beyond that ending, the light of healing is already rising, slow and sure, like dawn over a weary land. A mysterious 9-word prayer once sealed inside a private government vault is now resurfacing, and people everywhere are seeing financial breakthroughs overnight. Experts say it triggers a long silent part of the human brain responsible for abundance and wealth attraction. It takes less than 30 seconds to repeat, yet it's turning struggle into prosperity. Thousands are reporting cleared loans, sudden cash inflows, and unexpected blessings. Click the link in the description and comments before this secret disappears again. There are moments in life when we reach the edge of what we can carry. Quiet moments, when we know deep down that something must change, even if we're too afraid to say it out loud. Maybe you've seen someone close to you grow quieter with time, more distant, more burdened, more closed off from the light. Maybe you've seen joy disappear from their eyes, the kind of joy they used to carry so easily. And maybe, day after day, you've told yourself that if they could just catch their breath, if they could just get through one more week, things would get better. But healing doesn't always come by waiting, it comes when Jesus walks into the room and says, "This ends now." He is not coming with anger. He is not coming to condemn. He is coming like a gentle storm that clears the sky, like the rain that breaks the drought. He is stepping into your family's story, not to erase someone, but to erase what has tried to destroy them. He is not coming to tear anyone down, he is coming to lift someone up, someone who has nearly drowned beneath a sea of silent sorrow. Type 2323 if you trust in God. What will happen tomorrow is not a tragedy, but a deliverance. And even though it may not look how you imagined, it will be the hand of God moving with precision and grace. Jesus does not make mistakes. He does not rush in without love. Every word he speaks is soaked in compassion, every step he takes is toward redemption. And when he says, "Finished," he means the enemy no longer has a grip, the darkness no longer has permission, and the wounds no longer have power over the one who has suffered so long in silence. Sometimes, the one who needs healing most is the one who says the least. They smile for others. They stay strong for everyone. They never ask for help, not because they don't need it, but because they don't believe they deserve it. And Jesus sees them. He sees through the brave face and the long nights. He sees the little child still inside, longing for rest. And he is coming for them, not to take them away, but to bring them back, fully, beautifully, completely, into life. There will be a change, and it may be quiet. It may begin with a conversation, a tear, a step away from something toxic, or a moment of surrender that no one else notices. But that moment will be holy. That moment will be the beginning of something eternal. Because when Jesus moves, even in silence, heaven rejoices. You may not understand why it had to take this long. You may wonder why the pain was allowed to linger, why the healing didn't come sooner. But know this, every tear, every ache, every whispered prayer was heard. And the timing of God is never late. He waits until the ground is ready. He waits until the soul is open. And then, he moves with kindness that melts walls and with power that ends what should never have stayed so long. Do not try to fix what only God can fix. Do not try to carry what he is asking you to lay down. You are not meant to save anyone by your own strength. You are meant to believe that the Savior is near, and that he is not watching from a distance. He is in the very center of the storm, speaking peace to the waves that have tossed your family for far too long. And when the change comes, when the person you love begins to breathe again, begins to see again, begins to feel the warmth of light on their soul again, you will know that it was not your words, not your efforts, but his love that broke through. You will see with your own eyes what happens when Jesus finishes what darkness started, and what he finishes, he never leaves empty. He fills it with life. He replaces sorrow with joy, fear with calm, distance with closeness, and pain with a love so deep it heals down to the root. There are patterns that pass through families, sometimes for generations, and they become like invisible threads woven into daily life, threads of fear, resentment, illness, or hopelessness. They tighten quietly over time, until one person bears more than their soul was ever meant to carry. Perhaps that person is weary beyond words, standing at the edge, not knowing how to speak their need or how to find their way back to themselves. Jesus sees that weariness. He hears what they cannot say. And he is saying, with holy finality, it ends now. The kind of ending Jesus brings is unlike anything else. He doesn't bring chaos. He brings clarity. He doesn't come with destruction. He brings restoration through gentle unraveling, pulling apart the lies that were believed, the guilt that settled in the heart, and the shame that took root so quietly that no one noticed until it had already begun to shape the soul. He is not here to punish anyone. He is here to set someone free. Type 555 to receive miracles. If you've been watching someone you love fade into themselves, shrinking beneath burdens they cannot name, understand this: tomorrow is not their end. Tomorrow is the beginning of their return. They may not even know it yet, but the Spirit of God is surrounding them even now, in the quiet moments where they feel most alone. Heaven is already near. And the change that's coming will not be forced, it will be like a door slowly opening after being shut for years. The light that comes in will not blind them. It will gently warm them back to life. Let your heart be at rest. The ache you've been carrying, the fear that something terrible is about to happen, is not from God. He does not speak in threats. He speaks in promises. And His promise to you, right now, is that this season of pain is over. Not by your strength. Not by your plans. But by His intervention, His timing, and His unmatched love for the one who has felt most forgotten. Perhaps you've asked Him again and again to intervene, and it felt like nothing changed. But know this: God is never inactive. He has been working in the quiet. He has been setting the stage for something that no human hand could arrange. He has been allowing time to soften what needed softening, preparing hearts that were not yet ready, and gathering every tear you've shed so He can return it in joy. And now, because the time is right, because the need has grown too great, He is stepping in with fullness, with certainty, and with all the force of His divine mercy. The finish He brings is not one of endings as we know them. It is a breaking of chains, a silencing of lies, a deep, pure healing that reaches into the places where trauma has lived for too long. It is the finishing of despair, not the person you love. It is the end of isolation, not their place in your life. It is the death of what has been destroying them, not the soul that still belongs to God. Buried deep in forgotten archives, a 9-word phrase once hidden from the public is now transforming ordinary lives. Neuroscientists call it a wealth frequency activator, because it awakens a part of the brain that naturally draws prosperity. It takes just seconds to speak, but the change can last a lifetime. People are waking up debt-free and financially secure. The page could vanish at any moment. Click the link before it's gone for good. Prepare not for mourning, but for comfort. Prepare not for grief, but for a holy kind of relief. And when the shift begins, whether through a conversation, a dream, a quiet turning of the heart, remember that Jesus is doing it. This is not chance. This is not coincidence. This is the Lamb of God, who once wept over a tomb, now weeping over your family with love so intense that He cannot allow the suffering to continue. For years, maybe even decades, there has been something heavy passed from heart to heart, a silent grief, a weight that no one knew how to name. It might have begun with one person's pain, but it spread like roots beneath the surface, quietly affecting everyone in its reach. Some people learned to live with it, while others broke under its weight. But the Lord sees beyond what the eyes can grasp. He has watched the quiet undoing, the late nights full of questions, the prayers that were spoken through tears when no one else was awake. And He has chosen now as the moment to bring it to an end. The finishing of this suffering is not sudden revenge. It is not a strike from the heavens. It is the careful, intentional undoing of everything that has tried to destroy the soul of the one who still carries breath in their lungs. God is not careless with His love. He does not abandon or forget. His love is steady, and now it is moving like waves upon a weary shore. Each wave is soft, but it carries strength, and it will pull away the shame, the fear, the despair, until nothing remains but a soul free to stand tall again. Type 777 if you walk by faith. Maybe you feel like you've watched this person sink deeper, year after year, and you've begged God to intervene, wondering if He was still listening. You have not been ignored. Heaven has been preparing this moment with the kind of patience only perfect love can have. There are changes that require time, not because God needs time, but because hearts must be readied. Now, the readiness has arrived. What needed to loosen has loosened. What needed to break open has been broken. And now, Jesus moves with His hands open, not to take someone away, but to give them back their peace. Type Amen if your faith is strong, and share this video with 7 people of faith to welcome blessings and miracles into your life. Tomorrow is not a day of fear. It is the end of torment. It is the closing of a wound that has bled in silence. It is the soft collapse of strongholds that were built by years of struggle. And when they fall, it may feel sudden, but the roots were pulled by God's hand long ago. What you will see is the result of long unseen mercy. What you will feel is the lifting of a weight you didn't realize had settled over your shoulders too. The enemy wants you to believe that this message means loss. But Jesus, who laid down His life for the lost, has never used fear to call His people closer. His voice is peace. His steps are light. He enters not with noise, but with truth that cuts through all confusion. And that truth is simple: this person is not being finished. The suffering is. The torment is. The war that has raged in their mind and body is being called to a halt by the only one with authority to end it completely. Do not panic. Do not brace yourself for grief. Instead, let your heart expect something holy. Let yourself imagine the moment when their eyes clear, when the heaviness begins to lift, when the pieces start to come back together. That is what is coming. A restoration that will feel slow, steady, and sacred. A redemption that makes you believe in miracles again. A moment so tender you will know it came only from heaven. This is not the end of someone you love. This is the breaking of the cycle that has haunted them. This is the moment when what hurt them the most will finally loosen its grip and fall away. You may not see it happen in an instant. You may not even recognize the signs at first. But the Lord is at work, and He finishes everything with grace that holds no sharp edges. His healing does not come with noise or drama. It comes like breath returning to tired lungs, like warmth filling a place that has been cold for too long. Some things must be finished in order for new life to begin. Sometimes, a soul can no longer carry the weight of what the past has planted. And sometimes, Jesus steps in and says, "This is enough. My child will suffer no longer." That is what He is doing now. He is not removing your loved one from this earth. He is removing the pain that has quietly stolen their joy, bit by bit, year by year. There is no need to fear tomorrow. Instead, welcome it with reverence, because it marks the ending of what has tormented someone deeply loved by God. He has watched every moment of their battle. He has counted every sleepless night, every moment of silent anguish, every word they wanted to say but couldn't. And now, with the tender authority that only the Savior holds, He is reaching in, touching the deepest parts of their soul, and beginning a healing that will not just patch the wounds but will make them whole again. Type 333 to welcome blessings. You have prayed. You have waited. You have watched and wept, hoping for a shift, longing for something to finally change. And now, the change has come. Not through effort, not through pressure, but through the unstoppable kindness of God. There will be release. There will be rest. There will be relief in places you didn't know needed healing. The one who has carried this darkness may not even understand what is happening. Healing can be confusing at first. It can feel like losing control, like stepping into the unknown. But Jesus will be with them through every step. He will not rush them. He will not shame them. He will walk with them gently, as He always does, holding their spirit with hands that have already known the weight of the cross. And your role in this moment is sacred. You are called to stand in quiet trust, to hold space for what God is doing, and to release every fear that has tried to convince you that loss is coming. Loss is not coming. Rescue is. The rescue may not look like what you imagined. It may be quiet. It may be subtle. It may come through unexpected conversations, small signs, or even a tear that means something is finally breaking open. But it is coming. So do not brace for heartbreak. Open your hands for healing. Do not prepare to grieve. Prepare to see grace unfold. The enemy may have whispered that this person was beyond hope, but the enemy does not get the final word. Jesus does. And His word is always love. His word is always life. And His word right now is finished, not for the one you love, but for everything that has tried to take them from you. Jesus does not walk into brokenness with impatience. He does not tear apart what is fragile. He kneels beside the wound and places His hand where it hurts the most, not to judge, but to heal. And when He says it is time to finish something, it is because He has waited long enough. He has watched as pain lingered too long, as hope faded from eyes that once shone with joy. He has listened to the quiet, wordless prayers, prayers whispered through clenched teeth, prayed in dark rooms where no one else could hear. And now, He is answering, not with thunder, but with the kind of mercy that wraps around a soul and says, "You can rest now. I've come to carry this." What if a simple 7-minute sound frequency could awaken a forgotten brain signal designed to pull wealth toward you like a magnet? Backed by shocking CIA files and neuroscience, this discovery is now changing lives everywhere. Think of debts melting away, promotions arriving, and abundance flowing freely. This is the one moment that can rewrite your future, but only if you claim it now, because hesitation will only keep you chained to the same struggles. Click the link in video description and comments below to experience the hidden wealth wave and let your financial destiny shift in your favor today. The one in your family who has been hurting the most, perhaps quietly, perhaps even unknowingly, is not being punished. They are being rescued. The weight that has threatened to take them under will no longer have power over them. Jesus has chosen this moment in time to finish what they were never meant to carry in the first place. Whether it was a burden passed down, a lie they believed, or a deep ache from years of feeling unseen, He is ending it. He is breaking it at the root so it cannot grow back. God doesn't forget the hidden ones. He doesn't miss the ones who try to keep everything together for others, all while falling apart in private. These are the ones His heart aches for. These are the ones He runs toward. And if someone you love has been that person, then know this: Jesus has not come to take them away. He has come to bring them back, back to peace, back to light, back to the wholeness they may not even remember longing for. Type 1212 if you believe God is guiding you. There will be a moment, soon, when the shift will be felt. You may not recognize it immediately. It may not be dramatic or loud. But something deep will begin to move. A conversation may open a door. A sudden stillness may bring clarity. A broken moment may lead to a breakthrough. What once felt immovable will begin to soften. And that will be the proof that Jesus is finishing what has stolen life from the inside. You do not need to fix anyone. That has never been your job. You were never meant to carry the full weight of another's healing. All you were ever asked to do was love them, pray for them, and believe that God is who He says He is: faithful, kind, present, and always on time. And now, the time has come. What you could not change with your words or tears, He is changing now with His touch. What no human effort could restore, He is making whole by His Spirit. And as the darkness lifts from the one you love, as they begin to step into light again, even if it's slowly, even if it's clumsy at first, celebrate it. Speak life over them. Be gentle. Be patient. Healing is not always clean. It can be confusing and uncomfortable. But it is holy. It is sacred. And when it comes, it will leave no part of them untouched. This is not about punishment. This is about protection. Jesus is protecting their future by finishing the pain of their past. He is setting a new course by closing a door that should never have stayed open. And He is doing it because He loves them far too much to leave them where they are. This person may have been wearing a brave face for years, smiling through struggle, hiding the weariness that has made every day feel longer than it should. Perhaps you've seen it in the way they've pulled away, or in the way they've grown tired without reason, or in the way they've tried to keep going, even when everything inside them begged to stop. Maybe you've tried to reach them, speak to them, pray for them, and still it felt like your love couldn't reach past the wall they've built around their pain. But Jesus does not stop where you've had to. He enters the places your words could never reach, and He speaks in ways only the soul understands. Tomorrow marks the end of that silent captivity. The finish is coming not because God is angry, but because He is merciful. He cannot bear to let this soul suffer in secret one more day. What others have missed, He has seen. What others have dismissed, He has held. And now, without noise or violence, He is stepping into their story to end the suffering that has silently written its way through their life. This is not a dramatic event that brings fear. It is a holy one that brings freedom. You may notice small shifts. A softness where there was once hardness. A crack in the wall they've built. A moment of vulnerability. These are not coincidences. They are the beginning of healing. They are the signs that Jesus is gently undoing what darkness has tried to make permanent. Type 888 to open doors of abundance. There may be discomfort in the days ahead. When wounds are exposed to light, it can sting. When chains are broken, the soul has to learn how to stand again. Be patient. Do not expect instant joy. Do not rush the process. Just stay close in love. Keep your presence gentle. Let grace lead every word, every glance, every moment you share. This is not a time for fixing, it is a time for holding space, for letting the Holy Spirit do the work that only He can do. You have prayed for this, even if you didn't know exactly what you were praying for. In your tears, in your questions, in your tired hopes, you were laying this person before the feet of Jesus. And He picked them up. He carried them when you could not. He whispered comfort into places where no human voice could enter. And now He is setting them free, not just from the pain, but from the lies that pain has told them. Lies about who they are. Lies about what they deserve. Lies about what their future holds. Jesus is removing those lies with tenderness. He is rewriting their identity with truth. He is calling them out of darkness, not with force, but with kindness. And even if they can't understand it yet, even if they can't explain what they're feeling, their soul knows. Their spirit feels it. Something old is ending, something heavy is being lifted, and something beautiful is being born. Do not fear what is ahead. Do not let the unknown steal your peace. You are not walking into disaster. You are walking into deliverance. And though it may feel unfamiliar, it is safe. It is holy. It is exactly what you have been waiting for, even if you didn't know what it would look like. The sorrow that has followed this person for years, whether it was caused by heartbreak, addiction, trauma, loss, or the heaviness of simply not knowing how to go on, is finally reaching its end. Heaven has made a decision. Not to punish, not to wound, but to rescue with the kind of grace that never leaves a soul the same. When Jesus steps into a life like this, He does not leave behind ashes. He leaves behind wholeness, peace, and the gentle strength to begin again. You may not have known how close to the edge this person was. You may have sensed it in their tiredness, or in the silence that stretched too long between words, or in the flicker in their eyes that once held joy but now seemed distant. They may have masked it well. Many do. But nothing has been hidden from the eyes of Christ. He has watched, not with judgment, but with tears, and now His love will not wait another day. The burden is being lifted, the wound is being touched, and the darkness is being told it cannot stay. Do not fear the stillness that comes with this change. When Jesus finishes a long season of suffering, it may feel quiet at first. It may feel uncertain, like standing at the edge of something new and not knowing how to step forward. But this silence is sacred. It is not the silence of loss, it is the silence of restoration in progress. It is the kind of silence that settles over the heart when something heavy has finally been set down, and all that remains is the breath of God gently filling the emptiness that pain once occupied. The person who has carried this sorrow may not know how to respond. Healing can feel like confusion in the beginning. When a soul has lived with struggle for so long, peace can seem unfamiliar. Be patient with them. Walk slowly with them. Let love be the light that guides them back to themselves. Jesus is not rushing them. He is walking beside them at the pace of trust. And every step will be held in grace. Type 1010 if you trust in God's timing. Let yourself believe that something good is coming. Not because you've earned it, and not because they have figured everything out, but because Jesus has chosen to step in. He has decided this pain cannot continue. He has declared that healing must begin. And when He speaks, all things respond. Every wall begins to crumble, every lie begins to lose power, every wound begins to close, not with force, but with the holy touch of a Savior who knows exactly what each heart needs. What if the missing piece to financial success wasn't luck, but a hidden frequency inside your brain waiting to be switched on? Once activated, this ancient signal unleashes waves of prosperity, opening doors to opportunities you never thought possible. From sudden windfalls to long-awaited breakthroughs, it's transforming lives daily. Want to see how? Click the link in the video description and comments below to tap into the money magnet brain wave and begin your journey today. Others are already awakening this hidden signal and watching their lives transform. Do not be the one left behind while abundance passes you by. The change may come in ways you don't expect. A moment of honesty. A breaking point that turns into a breakthrough. A quiet decision that shifts the entire atmosphere of your home. However it comes, trust it. Welcome it. And do not be afraid of what feels unfamiliar. This is the part where God begins to rebuild, not with pressure, but with peace. Not with demands, but with compassion. You are not walking into a loss. You are walking into healing. And though it may feel like everything is shifting, remember that this shift is sacred. This is not the ending of someone's story. It is the beginning of the part they never thought they'd live to see, the part where they are finally free, finally whole, finally able to breathe without pain pressing on their chest. There are battles so quiet, so deeply buried, that even the ones closest cannot fully see them. You may have caught glimpses, through their tiredness, their withdrawal, their silence, but only Jesus has seen the full picture. Only He has witnessed the endless nights, the inner pain, the moments when they felt too far gone to be reached. And now, He is saying no more. No more suffering in silence. No more lying awake with thoughts that pull them deeper into hopelessness. No more pretending to be fine when their soul is aching for peace.